for Facebook and Facebook Messenger. And when you become friends with someone, it gives you a Facebook Messenger message that says, okay, now you're friends with that person.
Yeah.
Now we're online.
Oh, we're online!
Hooray.
Hooray!
We're online.
It is time to space.
Not yet.
Yes, it is.
No, not yet.
I'm declaring this no other video game sky.
Nah.
We're gonna lead off with the other ones, just so we can
just
say
get them
like,
out of the way.
No.
well, no, because it's like
Can't do that.
we have to, because there are going to be people that don't want to fucking listen to No Man's Sky things ever. So we can just be like, all right, it's all No Man's Sky after this. So shut it off
with
if you
those
want.
people.
Well,
Cranky ass bitches.
That's our listeners you're talking about, sir.
some people are cranky ass bitches.
We want to give the
I'm
people
gonna be a
what they
cranky
want,
ass bitch
how they
about
want
cranky
it.
ass bitches. I feel like I got turned down at some point.
From turned down from what?
Turned down for what?
No, I just feel like my volume is lower. Maybe I'm just talking quieter.
I don't know.
Maybe
Yeah, you sound about the same to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
My voice isn't warmed up. This is the first time I've talked to people or I've said anything out loud today.
Really?
Yeah.
It's a pretty good day.
Yeah. Sometimes I can go an entire Saturday without saying a word. It's magnificent.
Those were the days.
Saturday with.
Oh, sorry.
Hey, we got to talk about how he enters the room.
No, we got to talk about Saturday.
Oh,
Saturday.
Saturday. It's a day of the week.
Good
It
job.
comes after Friday.
Hey,
Hey.
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 I thought I shut it up.
Hey.
Did someone tweet already or no?
Diamonds. That'll shut her up.
I have not done Facebook either because my Facebook's fucked.
Oh.
Because this Ubuntu is desperate for an update.
Oh. Shit. Yeah, I keep forgetting about that. Shit.
Well, shit.
Yeah. Shit.
No.
I don't even know how to tweet anymore. How do you get the damn link? I guess I just have to go to the
I can
YouTube
get it.
page.
I can get it.
Be glad you never used Instagram
Yeah.
because they totally fucked that one.
Fuck it.
Yeah, they don't even give you a chronological order anymore.
Oh.
And they just do preferred things, so it's completely out of order. So you can get two different things from the same person, and it'll be like 21 hours ago, 6 hours ago, 3 days ago. And that's the order they'll come through in. It's pretty silly.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah, I don't understand social... I mean, yes, I understand why social networks do it. It's so that they can shove ads in and, basically force people to pay to have their stuff come to the top.
But Instagram just crams that stuff in anyway. Like,
Yeah.
you could just let sponsored stuff pay to be up at the top and let that shit fly.
Yeah.
They're not doing anything. They're not doing any users any favors.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't
they're not
use
doing
it.
advertisers any favors.
Yeah, I completely stopped using it. Like, when they did that, I was like, wow, well, this is officially pointless.
Yeah, I was starting to get into using Instagram again. I was like, what the fuck is this? All right, fine, go away. Delete.
Yep.
All right.
It's an
It is
interesting thing
time.
that basically all social networks come to that point, at some point where they're just like, you know what? Let's give the people stuff out of order. It's one of those things that feels like people that make social networks don't actually use them ever.
They think that engagement is the most important thing in a social media post, and that's not entirely true. Like, your point is to get engagement, and you don't get engagement unless you show people content.
Yeah.
And showing people content out of order, I don't know. I don't know. I don't hear many people complaining about it other than you and I and a couple other people on Twitter.
I think
so
people
I
just
guess
don't use Instagram anymore.
But it's the same on Twitter and Facebook. Shit is just
Really, I thought Instagram was killing Twitter now. I don't know.
no.
No, not really.
Okay.
It'll definitely not.
Apparently they tried to do a Snapchat type thing,
Yeah,
but I've never seen anyone, that's never come up for me
I've seen
as
people.
anything anyone has done.
I've seen people using it, and I don't get it. I'm like, just use Snapchat if you're gonna.
Yeah. Snap the chat.
Snap, snap. Did someone tweet this?
I'm working on it.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I cannot see how we normally tweet these things because Twitter is having a shit fit. Okay.
Apparently, Olympic closing ceremonies are tonight.
Good.
I've enjoyed watching the Olympics.
Oh.
I don't usually watch that much of it, but we've kind of turned it on each night. It's I guess it's better mindless stuff than the usual mindless stuff that we end up watching in my house. So we just jump between NBC and NBC Sports Network, and usually NBC Sports Network has the more interesting things. I haven't figured out why. Like, NBC will be like, all right, here's the 13th heat of the 100-meter dash qualifiers, and this isn't the one with Usain Bolt, but we're going to show it to you anyway. It's kind of like, all right, yeah, those guys ran.
NBC has forgotten how to
Television.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're people are blaming it on like millennials, and I'm like, dude, come on.
Everyone, like everything,
like,
everyone wants to blame everything on
Baby
millennials.
boomers are your biggest and most money different demographic right now.
Yeah.
Like, if they're not watching your shit, you have a problem.
That's what I can't figure out. Like, why?
It's your fault.
Like, I honestly,
You know how to advertise to these assholes.
I cannot figure out why everyone else is the target market. Because, like, I guess it's just they're like, well, we always need to target under 35 people, and it's like they don't have money anymore.
Right.
Like, they never have had money. They don't understand what it's like to have money.
That
these
demo
days.
doesn't have money anymore.
Yeah, like old people, man, they want to spend their kids' inheritance now.
Right.
So you should be like
remortgage and reverse mortgage their house again.
Like CBS has figured out that shit. They're like, man, just pump out the NCIS shows, get some
Cadillac commercials.
Yeah, some lawyer doctor lawyer doctor cop show.
If you're going to blame anyone for NBC, blame the right people. Comcast.
True.
This is true.
Comcast, NBC, Universal, we hate
Comcast.
streaming,
Yeah.
Comcast.
But yes, apparently millennials were busy streaming the Olympics instead of watching them, on tape delay.
We're watching the BBC coverage. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Your coverage is shit.
I do love
All
that.
right, it's tweeted in Facebook.
Every event, I was like, I guess I can go on Twitter and find out who won this as it's happening on the TV screen. I'm like, oh, wait, I got to scroll back 5 hours to find that one out.
Right.
All right, let's just light this candle.
All right.
Not going to wait for anybody to show up.
Nah, fuck it.
Nah.
They get here when they get here.
Yep. We only
Yeah,
got
we
an hour
got
and a half,
wrestling at
man.
7.
Yeah, we got an hour and a half to crank it
Wrestling
out.
actually starts at 6, but
Yeah, well,
nobody really needs the pre-show.
nobody needed towels.
I was going to say nobody wants to see Dolph Ziggler wrestle Baron Corbin, but Dolph Ziggler's wrestling for the title this time. Woo!
During the pre-show?
No.
Oh. That would be a bold move. All right.
Shit, what episode is it?
84.
Is it? Okay. Welcome to Quarters, episode 84.
Hey, it's a motherfucking video game podcast, and I'm here.
You are, and so am I. I'm Mackie.
I'm BJ.
And I'm Harlow. Wait, we traded 1 for 1?
Yeah. Upgrade.
Well, Chuck, I mean, come on.
Chuck grade. I'm Chuck 2.0.
Amazingly, Chuck was like, I didn't play any games, so never mind.
Chuck's busy with his
He's busy
31 at
editing
31
videos.
that you can find at
Yeah.
youtube.com/watercooler.
Wait,
oh,
you
he's
mean
gonna
he-
hate you saying that.
You
I
mean
know.
he doesn't watch the videos and like
Same day?
31
No,
days?
nobody would do
What?
that.
Come on.
Nobody would do that.
Yeah,
My illusion of the internet is shattered.
yeah, that sounds about right. The rest of us, however, we did play games.
Uh-huh.
Obviously, No Man's Sky.
Hell
but
yes.
we're holding off until the second half for that. So if you're one of those people who's like, oh, I don't want to hear about No Man's Sky, guess what, my friend? You can shut it off when we go to the break.
Mm-hmm.
But you shouldn't, because we have good things to say about it. We might have bad things to say about it. I don't know.
We have things.
We have things to say. Things will be discussed. Or something. I don't know.
Arguments heated.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But before we get there,
Okay.
let's talk about some other games.
All right.
But it's been a light month, though.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of catch-up going on. Catch-up.
Mustard.
Yeah. Yeah, we mustered up the time to play some Hitman Thailand DLC for me.
Like
Mustard?
Yeah. mustered up the time to play it. Get it? Because it's ketchup and
Yeah.
mustard.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, they just put out Hitman Thailand DLC, which is going through a hotel in Bangkok. So, and I would say you spend one night in Bangkok set during the day, which is boo.
More than one night in Bangkok makes a hitman
once again,
humble.
yeah. Once again, you are killing a celebrity, some guy who is a music star, a millennial pop star, as they call him, and he has a man bun.
How many? Well, that's fine. How many of the main targets for these have been celebrities?
One has been a fashion designer, but he's
Celebrity.
also like runs a blackmail syndicate. So it's kind of
That's okay.
Yeah. But yeah, there's that one. There's let me think. The second one wasn't elusive target was Gary Busey. There was one. It actually, I guess it isn't as many as I was thinking it was, but I might have talked about that when they announced it. That it was like, oh, it's a pop star and is a lawyer, and he apparently murdered this woman and got away with it, and her family wants revenge.
He would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for you meddling hitmen.
Yeah, exactly. Because he was acquitted because his dad is basically Richard Branson. Like, they don't even bother to make his dad, who's like, give him a different name, of course, but basically like, let's model Richard Branson and be like, yeah, his billionaire reclusive father is so.
Well,
anyway.
there's one difference. Richard Branson is always friggin' out there, like piloting a sailboat.
Yeah,
or
but when they
trying
show
to
the
fly to
picture, you're like,
moon.
all right, billionaire, okay, yeah, whatever. But yeah, so it's going through a hotel, and pretty much this guy, the millennial pop star, as they call him, has taken over the one side of the hotel, like basically like 3 floors worth, and just turned it into a giant ass recording studio. But he's got like friends who are passed out all over the place, and it's just
Excellent.
rock star excess. And then the other side is like where the lawyer has like this really posh, like amazingly huge penthouse suite that you have to figure out how to take him out on that side. And it's kind of fun. It gets super dark if you because it also happens to be the pop star's 27th birthday.
Oh.
And they're like the age where pop stars,
no.
where musicians die. It's part of the opening cinematic. I'm like, all right.
That's pretty good that they included that.
Yeah, I loved it. Like, it's his 27th birthday, the day the age rock stars die. I was like, all right, that works for me. You guys are hitting the right notes here. But yeah, it gets super dark when you poison his cake, because you could poison the birthday cake that he's about to eat.
Oh my God! How many people?
Does
more than one person eat the cake?
No, only he
Okay.
eats it. But he eats it, and then he's like, oh, and it's a vegan cake, of course. So, nobody else wants any of it. I think that's why nobody else eats it.
I gotcha.
But he's like, oh, it's from, somebody, the delivery person or whatever was like, it's from your father. And, he remembered. And he's like, oh, I'm sure he did. And then he's like, kind of like, oh, I guess my dad did remember. Oh, this is really nice. And then he starts eating it and dying. And then he's like, I don't feel so good. Oh, no. Dad, what? Why would you do this, Dad? He's like thinking his father killed him. His final thoughts are that his father has murdered him.
Excellent.
But actually, no, it's just me, Hitman.
Ted Hitman.
Yeah, Ted Hitman.
Big
Wearing
Hitman.
wearing my big chef hat and hanging out in the corner. Yeah, and the level's kind of fun. I like how they've split it up, and there's a whole underground area to get through if you're part of the staff, like if you're disguised as the staff. But it's really weird in that certain dudes will, like, no matter what you're wearing, unless you're wearing like the default like casual Hitman garb, they will spot you and act like something's up, like you're fishy. No matter what costume you're wearing. And it's this one guy at the front desk. He must be like Mr. Friendly with all the staff, because he just looks like a normal staff guy. But whenever I get near him, it's like the little detection thing starts going off. And I'm like, this fucker. and there's always like 1 or 2 people in the staff that immediately know that you're an imposter, which is not the normal thing for that game. Usually, like, if you're dressed up as a chef, none of the other chefs kind of give a shit for some reason. But, like some guards will, or, I should say that the other chefs would know because you're part of their team, but like the guards wouldn't. Yet suddenly, like in this one, like a guard will be like, hey, you're not one of the chefs. And it's like, how do you know all the chefs? There's a dozen chefs running around this place. But I don't know. It's not their best mission, but it's more Hitman. And one of the rewards for beating, getting a certain level on that mission is you get a machete. So I'm
Nice.
looking forward to doing a Jason run of one of the levels and just murdering everyone I come in contact with the machete.
You should do that.
Seeing how that goes.
You should do that on the live stream.
I was planning on it, but I was almost going to have Harlow download the game here so that we could play it for a little bit, but we don't have enough time. This is a short episode.
Yeah.
We're going to keep it short.
I just want to be on that live stream just going,
Yeah. But it's pretty, like, the machete, it's not even like you hack at the person. Like, you'll come up behind them and then just all of a sudden, poof, like through the chest from behind.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
That's
proper
the silent
Jasoning.
kill with the machete. So,
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens if I come face to face with people and start doing it. But, yeah, Hitman's still good. I still really like that game, even though this level is kind of weird, and some of the challenges are really strange. Like, there's gold elephants that if you destroy enough of them, the 2 gold elephants out front will start crying, like red paint from their eyes.
That's weird.
And this one guy will like have like this religious experience in front of him. He's like, "Oh no, oh God, I feel so. I never meant to hurt you, man." And because I guess he's like some hunter or something, and he just has like this religious experience in front of it. I think they're more and more getting into the whole like, let's just put weird, fucked up stuff and like
Let's
have
Saints
people,
Row it up a little bit, like just go lean into it.
kind of, but also like having people have like, instead of just being like, huh, that's weird, or just kind of like using default stuff when they're going through it, they're like actually putting in with, like, what would somebody would really react weirdly to this, right? And like, all right, well, how weirdly would they react? And they go from there. But I've been having fun with it. Another game I've been sneaking around with after Harlow talked about it last month is Dishonored.
Oh, before you leave Hitman, what episode are we on? Like, out of how many?
I believe this was the 4th.
Out of 5?
There will be USA. I believe it's an oil rig in Colorado is the next one, and then there's a final one that's in Japan.
Oh.
And there was also a bonus episode in there which used nighttime settings and like relayed out areas in Marrakesh and Sapienza.
Okay.
Like one was a big giant movie set, and the other one was just like they kind of just split off. Like they cut out the consulate and the school part and just kept it to kind of like the marketplace area of Marrakesh.
Okay.
And that mission was pretty good too. You got to pretend to be a fortune teller and murder a guy while you were given his fortune. So
Yeah, I was just curious.
it got my seal of approval.
For people, waiting for... I mean, some people are like, I won't buy episodic, waiting for a finished box game or whatever.
Oh, whatever. I
How much is it to get the whole shebang?
$60,
Just like any other game.
and they've also
Okay.
mentioned that they would
60
like
bucks,
to.
so 6 episodes plus a bonus episode?
Yes.
Plus,
That's
apparently,
pretty good.
weird little things along
Plus,
the way.
like the
Gary
elusive
Busey.
targets
Yeah.
that happen.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, and they've talked about already doing a season 2 and season 3 with this.
So did your season pass get you the
It'll be
second
just
and third season? or-
no. It'll just be the first season.
Okay.
And I wouldn't. I mean, you're getting you're getting plenty of game for
Right,
for that.
right.
I've already got probably 60, 70 hours in this game.
Yeah.
It's
It's interesting moving to the. We see some things moving to the games as a platform as opposed to games as a single purchase thing,
Mm-hmm.
and it's good to see one be successful, like and do it well like this. Like
well, and it depends on the type of game, of course.
Yeah,
because like this one, like I've said before, if this was like just a disc release, I'd probably blow through each mission and just be like, all right, what's the next one? And do it like, all right, that was kind of fun. I did some dumb stuff. Whereas now I'm like, what if I try and do it this way? It's like
it breaks. You get time to experience the things. Like if you like the game, you are more likely to go back and re-experience that level in
Yeah,
a different
it
way.
almost feels like-
as opposed to just plowing through all 5, 6
yeah, it's like
episodes.
redoing an episode of a Telltale game, being like, okay, what if I save this person instead of that person this time?
Right.
It's almost like that, where it's like, all right, well, what if I try and be really really stealthy about this part of it, but then I just go guns blazing on the other one, and it's smart. It's really it's benefited this game greatly doing it episodic, but yeah, there'll be in 2 months it'll be complete, I guess, because
Okay.
they've been sticking to the schedule pretty well. I don't know if there's going to be a third or an extra bonus episode or not, a second one, hopefully, but we'll see.
Okay. Just curious.
Yeah. But Dishonored, I started that. I started the definitive edition on Xbox One because I pre-ordered Dishonored 2. They're like, all right, here, have the first one. was like, okay. And
When does this, real quick, when does this Dishonored 2 come out?
In November.
November?
Yeah. Yeah, and you were playing as Emily, I guess.
Yes.
Well, I think you switch between Corvo and Emily. I think it's like a
Old Man Corvo.
Syndicate kind of thing.
Okay.
Yes, Assassin's Creed Syndicate, where you can.
That's, man, it's tempting to do that.
Mm-hmm.
To pre-order. Getting the definitive edition
Yeah.
with your pre-order is a pretty good deal.
It's a pretty
Yeah.
good perk. I mean,
I
it saves
like
you
this.
$20 buying it.
I like this new thing that they're. I mean, it's a little weird because I mean, people that are. It's a little strange because people that are in for a part 2 pre-ordering have probably already played the first one. Like they did this with Dishonored and South Park. If you buy South Park digitally, you get the first one. But it's like
We're in a good space though with the sequels because Dishonored was a last gen sequel,
Sure.
last gen, and
Yeah.
if you pre-order the second version, you get this version, the next gen version to play on your PS4 or Xbox One or whatever.
That one is
you get
kind
to
of
replay it. Yeah.
You know, I mean, I guess South Park's kind of that. Well, maybe that's only Steam that's doing that because I don't know how they would do that otherwise, unless it's they make the first one backwards compatible. You know, because it was a 360 game as well. You know, for the Xbox One.
Right.
I was just saying, like, you know, like it's a weird. It's like I said, it's a weird pre-order bonus. It's cool, but and it's good for people that didn't buy either one. But you still have to kind of go like, well, all right, I'm getting 2 games for $60.
Yeah, I mean, if you are interested in playing the sequel, like, why not pre-order it and get that definitive? You don't have to wait for the code or anything.
Nope.
No, well, because you're buying it digitally, so you don't think you can return it.
Yeah,
so.
I bought it digitally.
Okay.
So it added it to my library immediately.
Oh, so and you paid for it immediately as well.
Yeah, I basically paid for the full Dishonored 2 game, and then it just automatically added the other one to my library.
Okay,
It didn't really get it wasn't like, all right, you've got this too. It wasn't like real like, hey, buddy, go grab it now. It was like I had to go into my library and find it.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was there, so
Did you do that on Steam or Xbox One?
Xbox One.
Xbox One. Okay.
yeah. My computer, I have not built my new cool computer that will
Super
be
awesome dude computer.
Yeah, basically mounted in a closet and then routing an HDMI out to the TV from there.
You're gonna need to put a heat duct out there in there somewhere.
No, it's gonna be water cooled, man.
Oh, you're still gonna need somewhere for that heat to go.
Nah, it'll be fine. It's open air case. Open air case.
Yeah, but the closet, enclosed closet.
Oh,
it's gonna
that
get
closed.
hot.
It's never shut.
Okay,
It'll be fine.
All right. Well, enjoy all the dog
on
hair.
the wall. It'll be mounted on the wall. Up
Enjoy
the top
all the
of
dog
closet.
hair on your computer.
Nah, not gonna happen.
You can't win.
Not gonna happen.
If you have a computer, something bad will happen
Yeah.
to it.
Yeah, I know.
Just
I'm just
figure out what's going to go wrong
Yeah.
and fix it. Is
But either way, I've kind of moved towards Xbox One for a lot of stuff lately. I don't know why, but Dishonored, been playing it there. I'm trying to do a ghost run where you're never seen, or at least you're never the guys never get the 3 lightning bolts,
right.
and it goes the ring sound. And
You're never
No alarm
spotted.
sound.
Yeah.
yeah, no alarms. That's tough.
Yeah,
I got through the first couple levels, and the level split ups are weird because it's just kind of like it's not really. I've noticed it. I kind of figured it would be like, all right, when it's like exit the level, you think that you would be like done with a level, and it's like, oh no. So I did the one where you had to where you were supposed to save the one captain of the guard, I guess,
Right.
and then either murder or brand the guy.
Well,
as an outcast.
some levels are like full on, like, okay, we're returning back to base, and then some it's just like, all right, you need to go into this new area, and it's
Yeah,
you know,
like
you go back
that
to
one.
the old
That one, I was like, all right, I got the guy. I just threw him in a dumpster, so he's fine, and I branded the other guy's face, and then I'm like, all right, there's the exit. It's like go to the wherever it is where the boatman will be, and I'm like, oh shit, there's like an entire level here I have to sneak through now. So yeah, it's. Maybe it's because of how I'm playing, and I'm not just like, all right, let me blink over and murder dudes all the time, that it feels like the levels are super long, but I'm enjoying the game. Like like all that whale stuff, like when you're reading the backstory, it's kind of like, you're just like, fuck this entire society, like everyone. Because they get it, like, I was surprised at the graphic detail they get into, like, about doing, like, a whale vivisection and stuff, just to... And it was just like, I just wanted to see what would happen when I poked its brain, and it cried at me, and I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ, you people, you're terrible.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Wait till I can't remember which DLC it is. It's one of the two where you actually go to the whale processing factory. Yeah,
No.
Is that what? Did you say that's one of the
in one of the DLCs.
DLCs? I don't want to go there.
Yeah,
Yeah, but it's It's weird. It's going to contrast with the other game I played, which is Doom. Mm-hmm. In that, I finally started Doom, which is nonstop, fucking kill everything, action, do not hesitate for a second, murder everything game. Whereas this one was like, I was trying to play it almost deliberately the complete opposite, where it was like, I'm not going to kill anybody, and hopefully they never spot me. And it made me realize, like, I know silent protagonists are kind of on their way out anyway in first-person games, but man, that hurts Dishonored a lot, having a silent protagonist.
Yeah. Because
when you have to have characters, have entire one-sided conversations with someone who never responds to them, it feels like it makes it feel like you're playing an idiot. Like, your character's an idiot, because you can't just explain, like, if your character was given a voice, at least it'd be like, no, it didn't happen this way, this is what's going on. Instead, it's like, nope, you're a bad guy, you're locked up.
Right, well, it's a strange choice for Dishonored, because
there's a lot of story.
Well, you're playing a character.
On.
I get it when it's like an open RPG, make your male or female, whatever, kind of person. But like when you're playing a character, give them a voice. It's fine,
Yeah, and Doom is almost like intentionally just fuck that. Like the way your guy reacts to people trying to talk to him is he's like, no, fuck you. Like, he picks up an iPad or something where the guy's like, all right, let me explain what happened here on the facility. And it's like, no, fuck that, smash it. Anyone writes you, fuck that, smash it. Your guy's interaction is just like, you have to press a button. It's like, punch the button. It's just, it's like this angry 12-year-old who can't speak. Yep. It fits that game perfectly, because it's like, it's almost like it knows that you don't really care about the story. You don't care what really happened at this place. All you know is, hey, demons, kill them, let's go. And it contrasted so much with Dishonored, and it made Dishonored feel worse for that, just because it's trying to tell so much story, and yet you're stuck with this thing that, where you can't speak to anybody and you can't communicate with anybody. The only options you ever seem to get are like, are you gonna help save my father, the captain of the guard? And it's like, yes or no, or like, I'd like to choose from your inventory thing to buy upgrades, and that's all the interactions like your guy seems to have with anyone, short of obviously murdering them.
Right.
I don't know. It's just, I know like games do it to be more immersive or something, but to me it makes almost the opposite effect, where it makes me like not care about the story, because it seems like my character doesn't care about the story.
Sure.
So
that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, when you get to play Dowd in the DLC, he has a voice, so
okay. Is that the Michael Madsen one?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you said you'd played the DLC since beating the main game, right?
Yeah, I finished I played most of, it's like the Witches of something.
Yeah, Brigmore,
yeah. I played most of that, but I hadn't finished it, but I have now, so they're both good. I mean, I really like the setting of the second DLC even more. Like when they've got some cool, interesting, like very different environments from the main game, and even the first DLC was like going through a lot of the same. Like you're playing things like Dowd would have been doing simultaneous to Corvo running around. So
okay.
So like you're kind of in some similar environments, but that one's kind of, I think, after the fact or something. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
Yeah. Like there's some swampy areas and things like that weren't previously like anything like it in the game. Mm-hmm. So I liked the second DLC a little bit more.
Yeah.
I also thought it was cool that when you start the second DLC, you get to carry your progress over from the first one.
Oh.
Since you're playing the same character, so that was a nice touch.
So it's basically like a direct sequel type thing.
Yeah, there's one other DLC thing, but it's like almost like time trials. Yeah, didn't care.
Mm-hmm. So are you
Blink trials? Like
they had different stuff. I mean,
it's
a lot of
sound appealing to
no.
I know the achievement hunter people are like fuck everything about that because
it's difficult.
Well, yeah, like considerably more difficult than anything that was in the game itself. Mm-hmm. It was just like, no, here, like, it was something like, defeat 10 guys in 6 seconds without using any special power, just like a lot of like bullshit. Mm-hmm. Like you're not really playing Dishonored to be like, all right, how awesome can I be at doing this, this, and this? It's like most people aren't playing to speed run Dishonored,
right?
And that it felt like that time I don't even know if it was time trial stuff, but I know it was like trials of some kind. Was just like no, do all these crazy things and do them in a really strict time limit. And
I just kind of read what it was and was like, nah. I didn't even start it
Yeah.
up. I was just like, nah, no, give me the story things.
yeah, so you're in for Dishonored 2, though.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah,
I'm really interested in that. I worry though that like coming up, I have actually this will. Are you done talking about Doom?
yeah, Doom. I didn't have much to say aside
Okay.
from that game's fun and it's crazy. and Dishonored. The only thing I hope for 2 is they give you some kind of way mid mission to see your stats. Because
Yeah.
it's really frustrating to go through 2 hours worth of mission thinking you never got spotted and then get to the end of the mission. It says, oh, you're spotted twice. And I'm like, when? Show me when, you fuckers.
Yeah.
When?
Or at least give you a definitive like you've definitely been spotted.
Yeah.
Sort
So
of
I hope something
indication.
like that's
Yeah.
in Dishonored 2.
I have a feeling it's going to be because I mean, if you're going to be playing as Emily, she has a voice. She's a character. I can't imagine they're going to make her silent. So I would assume they're going to give Corvo a voice now too. It
that'd
just
be nice.
seems like they'd have to.
Yeah.
Corvo didn't have a voice the entire time in Dishonored, the original.
No, I haven't heard it yet.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
I don't think
I
so.
couldn't remember. I've just
Yeah, and it just leads to the whole people narrating you stuff you already know.
right.
You know, like,
right.
we're back in town, Corvo. Look at the bill. You know, it's
Yeah.
like, okay, I get it.
Right.
Yeah, I see the flaws in that game. Like when I started up, I was like, well, this is a bold choice, kind of doing the Half-Life 2 intro. You know, like
Yeah.
and Half-Life 2 was even aware that it was past its prime to do the silent protagonist because people would say like, well, you don't talk much, do you, Gordon?
Yeah.
like things like that.
And that shit was 12 years ago.
Right. I'm just saying, like, it just seemed like it jumped on that train, no pun intended, for the beginning of Half-Life 2, but it said, like, I'm going to do this too, and it definitely felt even more after the fact that it should have known better. But the gameplay was varied enough that I enjoyed the setting despite the terrible
Right.
power based
Yeah.
on oil thing, but, like, it's a cool steampunk, world and the variety of ways you can get into places where it's like, all right, well, go find this guy with a key, and it's like, no, fuck that, there's an open window up there, blink blink,
Yeah,
Right.
now I want Blink in every game.
Yeah.
Like you get used to using it, and then you go to Doom, and it's like, man, I need to get up there. Fuck.
Yeah.
Whereas, Dishonored, you just be like, all right, yeah, I'm close enough. Blink, and you're there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, we were talking about Dishonored 2. It comes out in November.
Right. Like, I'm interested. I'm really interested, but like dovetailing this into the next conversation. For one, like the Death Star DLC for Star Wars is coming out soon. For 2, Battlefield 1 is coming out in October. And with that and those two games and No Man's Sky,
You're booked
I have
up.
no time for games. Right.
Well,
like
the good news about Dishonored is you'll probably get it cheap in the spring.
exactly.
Or
like-
even like wait for a sale around Christmas because
Yeah.
like, hey, it's 10 days before Christmas, here it is for $12.
Yeah.
We're going wacky.
Right. Or even no, they probably won't have it on sale for Black Friday. But Black Friday deals are coming up for games and shit. And
Sure.
this may be the point where I finally break down and buy an Xbox
It seemed like
One.
last year the Black Friday deals were even better after Black Friday. Like
Cyber Monday.
This game isn't
Yeah.
selling so well, so here, $20. I know
Yeah.
it's a month old, but here you go.
Yeah. So it could happen, but man, I am hyped as fuck for that Star Wars Death Star DLC.
So, what is it? Is it space combat exclusively?
LFG Trench Run.
Is it? Yeah. Can you do a trench run?
Sort
Oh my
of.
God.
So it's gonna have a new game mode called Battle Station, and it's a 3-phase game mode. The first phase, you fly X-wings and A-wings against TIE fighters and TIE interceptors in space, and so the objective is for you to destroy enough TIE fighters for the Y-wing support to come in and weaken a Star Destroyer's defenses. Then once it's vulnerable, the Rebel starfighters can attack the weak spots in an effort to bring the Star Destroyer down. Super exciting. That's I think that's going to dovetail into that Rogue. What is it? Rogue Squadron.
Rogue One.
No, not Rogue One. But whatever the PSVR experience is going to be.
Oh, okay.
I think that's going to dovetail in there. So the second phase you're going to fight inside. It says inside this iconic space station, so I have to assume it's talking about the Death Star. inside the Death Star. So you have to go track down some droid, and then the third phase, you go back into space and blow up the Death Star. Mm-hmm. So, it's pretty much everything that I've wanted out of Battlefront since they announced
awesome.
it. With the exception of it doesn't look like they're going to let you fly a fucking Y-wing yet, which is obnoxious.
They're just slow bombers, dude.
I like them. I don't give a shit what you say about them. I like them.
Pokemon Y-wing, Pokemon X-wing,
right? Pokemon Red Squadron.
Mm-hmm.
But Chewie and Bosk are going to be the two new heroes,
nice.
And like.
Man,
to play as Chewie.
Yeah.
Bowcaster and smacking fools. And
if they give you Bosk's gun from Dark Forces, holy fuck.
I don't remember what that was.
It was basically it was a rifle that when you shot at somebody, it made this like eruption of concussive force underneath their feet, so they'd get blown up into the air.
Was he the one that had
nice.
like the sniper rifle was like almost as tall as him? Was that him? His gun?
No. Bosk was like the lizard-looking guy, like the yellow outfit.
Well, somebody had like this like
it looked
toy, like the toy had a gun that was almost as tall as the entire figure.
Yeah,
was it Dengar maybe?
No,
Dengar's
either
gun
way.
was pretty big.
Either way, like in Dark Forces, that guy, it looked like a shotgun, and you could get it eventually.
Nice.
And it was just like the best fucking weapon because it just wrecked guys.
Yeah, there haven't been a whole bunch of details about it, but usually they get pretty iconic. Pretty iconic weapon. Like Han Solo's got his
blaster,
the DL-44.
Ooh, nerd. No, I'm just kidding. I was about to say that if you didn't.
Jerk. I played it enough to know what the fuck it is.
He's got a gun that's a blaster.
Yeah.
It blasts people.
Dengar's got the big DLT-19 or whatever it is. I'm pretty sure it shows in the promo image Chewie with his bowcaster. So
nice.
I assume he's going to have that.
You'd have to.
I don't see why they wouldn't. But then again, the bowcaster is a
OP as fuck.
Not anymore.
Oh, no.
Definitely not anymore. But it's a star card in the game currently, so I don't know what they'll do to that. But I'm just super excited for the fact that we're going to be able to pilot X-Wings and A-Wings against a Star Destroyer. We haven't done that since... Well, I haven't done that since X-Wing, and that was one of the things that I really, really wanted to happen in this game, was some actual space combat, and if possible, being able to coordinate an attack on a Star Destroyer. So
are they clearly making it the first Death Star, or have they kind of been unclear about that?
It hasn't. It's not very clear.
I would hope so, because I would think you'd want to do the trench run and not like the Return of the Jedi winding through the thing.
The only argument I'd give is like that's been done far less in games, so it's almost more interesting.
What, the Return of the Jedi one?
Yeah. I mean, just because we've done trench run in so many games,
Yeah.
I mean, not that it's don't
not
get me
that
wrong.
It's bad.
Every time it's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, like that X-wing thing in the arcades. That's the first fucking thing I did was like, and when that wind's blowing and you do the that camera shot. Kind of zoom into the... I was like, fuck yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They even had it in Lego Star Wars.
Yeah.
Both runs were in Lego Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently part of that third phase, you will be able to play... you'll be able to play as a hero at some point. You can play as Luke in his Red 5 X-Wing or Darth Vader in his TIE Advanced, which that'll be really interesting to see what they...
I guess his first Death Star, that kind of solves it.
Yeah.
Yep.
They weren't involved.
Yeah.
Right. So it's exciting. I'm looking forward to it.
Have they said when that's coming out?
I have not seen an actual release date. September. It says September. So
that's coming up soon.
Yeah.
Nice. You'll have plenty of time.
Yeah. I don't know if I'll get burned out on No Man's Sky in time to really give this a good shake or what, but
so with that game, I know haven't been playing it super recently, but has it kind of been like everyone's moved to the DLC as far as what gets played most often, or how is that working?
It's so seamless when you go to matchmake that I'm just assuming that
No, they changed you haven't played it
No, I haven't.
a long time.
I played it after the first DLC came out, and it was just like, all right, find a game, and it was like, you don't have that DLC, fine, we won't match it with those people, but...
Well, so the annoying thing, like, to me, the annoying thing about what they changed when they started releasing the DLC was they made each DLC a separate playlist, and it puts you into...
Sorry. I was trying not to do it.
It's all right. You want to pick your phone up while we're paused? That's twice. Twice you dropped that phone.
Yeah.
Stop dropping.
And roll.
So the annoying thing that they've done with the DLCs is they put each one of the sets of maps in its own playlist, and that includes the new game modes. So if you want to play the new game mode, you have to go into that playlist, and then once that particular game is done, once that game that you jumped into is done, it automatically puts you into like the next game mode on one of the new maps. So you can't just go play that game mode, which is annoying to me. I'd like to be able to pick a game mode to play and keep playing it across whatever maps it has the option for. But having said that, it does kind of encourage you to keep playing, to play the other modes in the new maps, and it does expose you to that, which is kind of a good thing. As far as what I've seen, to answer the question about the sort of fragmentation of the player base, it seems like there's still a lot of people playing the base game modes and maps. But I would say probably the majority of players moves on to the next DLC when it comes out, and then they play that to death. And honestly, that's what I do. I go play the new game mode because it's something new and fresh, and I want to, get into it and see what all the fun things are. And then, like has happened with the last couple DLCs, the new game mode is usually pretty fun. So, I want to go play it some more. Like the Sabotage is really good on the Cloud City DLC, and why can't I remember the name of it? Extraction is really good on the Bespin, not Bespin. Whatever the hell the other one was.
Yeah.
Extraction is a really good game mode. So
Naboo? I don't know.
Tatooine.
No.
Hoth.
Yeah.
Coruscant.
Endor. Geonosis.
Cash.
Okay, so it is Bespin. Sorry. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wait, Bespin, I thought that's where Cloud City was.
yeah.
Whoops, I looked at the wrong.
Yeah, wrong one. I thought Cloud City floated above Bespin. which
You're
was
right.
like
You're
a
right.
gas planet.
Extraction. It's Extraction, the one that Outer Rim. So Outer Rim is the Extraction DLC. Outer Rim, Extraction, Bespin, Sabotage, and then Death Star will be whatever. And then I guess the fourth game mode, or the fourth DLC is going to be Rogue One, which should be interesting. I assume it's going to be a
have
beach
that
assault.
Beach, with the AT-ATs.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. So, but I really it was sort of a leap of faith throwing that $50 down on the season pass for Battlefront at
Sounds
first.
like you've gotten your money's worth, though.
But I really think that they've done an excellent job for my $50. Like, they've done really good things, and they keep not as often as some people want, but they keep tweaking. Like, they're constantly tweaking the balance on that. It's sort of like Battlefront or Battlefield in that way, where they keep tweaking the balance, and then they throw some additional fun stuff in here and there.
Yeah.
So it's been really good. I haven't been paying attention for the last couple weeks because it's been it's obviously been No Man's Sky time, but we'll talk about that later.
Yep.
But
soon now.
hype for Death Star.
It makes me want to play it, honestly.
Yeah.
Like the other ones sound cool, but it's it's like, all right, whatever.
Yeah,
Bespin's cool, but all right. But when you say you're going to be doing fucking trench run and you're going to be battling the cargo hold of the Death Star, it's like, all right, sign me up.
Yeah,
I want to do that.
These are things that I have wanted to do in a next gen video game for a long time. So, or in a really nice looking video game for a long time. So, gimme.
Yep.
And I think that's going to be. Is that going to be our half?
I think that's the first half.
Yeah.
That's all we got.
Like I
Minus
said, we were-
Noam Chomsky.
Yeah. Been monopolizing our time here
Yeah.
with something else. Then we'll talk about second half.
Sounds like a good plan. Let's break.
Shortest half ever.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I don't even really need to get up. So.
I'm just getting more drank.
More drink.
God,
All right, yeah.
And we do have a voicemail about this one.
Who's it from?
Sunny, California.
Okay.
He basically called and talked about a Bamcast thing, and then called and talked about No Man's Sky right after it.
Gotcha. Yeah, I just didn't want to trifle with any
Hey, what?
fools on No Man's Sky. I've also already trifled with enough fools. Chuck's not here to stay behind and talk to people.
There's nobody there to talk to. I think everybody is watching SummerSlam already. So, like, it runs for 7 hours. Is that what I was seeing? So,
The real thing is 4 hours long. Yeah, apparently there's 2 hour pre-show. I thought it was
Yeah, it's a 2-hour pre-show this time.
only 1 hour.
Yeah,
that sounds
3 matches in the pre-show. One of them is a 12-man tag. It's got all the guys that nobody cares about. I don't mind a big tag team match if it's like a tornado tag where it's like 4. Each corner has dudes in it and they can tag anybody in at any time.
Sure, it's not doing it full time. I mean, yeah, they're the worst time killers. All right, everybody jump in there and everybody get thrown out at random points in time. You know, sit there for 5 minutes.
I do like when they chain like everybody's finisher together, when they have like 6 finishing moves in a row. That's always fun for me. But
Did you see Chuck's?
oh, it does. Very nice.
For not being here, Chuck gets this.
Chuck's Wheatley.
Well, it wasn't Wheatley. It was one of
Wheatley.
the other ones, wasn't it? I don't know. He had a name. Wheatley was one that talked.
oh, that's right. Was it the Adventure Orb? Or
Yeah.
Space Orb? Might have just
I
been.
think everyone just calls him the Space Orb. I don't know if he has a personality, because that's what they were. They were like various pieces of GLaDOS's personality.
It's funny the trade terminals all look like the personality. orbs.
Wheatley.
Wheatley.
Although none of them
Wheatley.
have any personality.
Guess I should go get that voicemail ready.
We have 3 likes on the video. It's probably us. Delicious.
So apparently people have started putting out pictures of the PS4 Slim.
Like the 4K or the new thing? The
I'm not sure.
yeah.
It looks kind of like the old Apple airports, you know, where it had the kind of that line.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it had that curved corners, and then it had like that line. Imagine if you just kind of spread that line taller, so you had enough to fit a disc in there and USB slots.
Just want to make sure this is it.
Hey,
Yeah.
NQcast. This is Sunny Cal.
Okay.
I mean, it's nice that they removed all of the style from the PS4. That's cool.
PS4 is nice looking.
Yeah. It looks like a doorstop, but it's nice. It's a nice doorstop.
Mm-hmm.
It's a parallelogram.
I still haven't been able to
Sorry
figure
about
out
that
which is
plosive.
the eject button and which is the power button. Even though
It's-
people tell me every time, and I'm like,
It's the one on the bottom is the eject button, I think.
I think so. I
The
think
one
it
on-
is because you want to press it and then reach up and grab the disc.
Yeah.
Is that
Whereas
why?
pressing the top one, your hand would be in the way of the disc coming out.
But if
is-
you press
is
it on top, then you're right there to grab it by the sides.
Yeah.
You know.
Power's on the top, eject
Okay.
on the bottom. Unless you have your turn on the side. Some people do.
And then who knows?
and then it'd
Aren't
be
you not
left.
supposed to do that?
I
and
thought
then
you
your
could.
disc will
I
shatter.
thought they had a
Oh, yeah, I guess you
side
could.
mounting thing. I think you're just
Yeah.
not supposed to move them while it's on.
Oh, God, no.
Although, like, I tried my Xbox on the side, my 360 on the side,
It's
and it
annoying.
just made all sorts of noise and never. It. Ugh. So I don't.
Yeah.
I do the Wii U on the side, but that's because it's actually meant for that. Like it's built
Yeah.
to do that.
Yeah. I would put the Wii U on its base, flat, to be a rebel.
Okay. Well, I was running out of space in mine. Set up there, so I didn't mind it being vertical.
Well, why don't you just make more space? Duh.
Well, I have to get rid of the 360. That's about all I can do at this point.
Just get a smaller 360. Just chop some of the plastic off.
Okay.
It doesn't need all of it.
I'll just wait for the NX handheld combo thing. Weird.
That's really interesting. I wish there was more than just, vague rumors to talk about that.
Yeah, it's sounding more concrete. That that's what it's going to be a powerful DS that you go and dock it, play at home.
Looks like it's on top of a storage drawer.
I can't wait to shoot those radar domes or whatever the hell they are.
Which, I mean, if the rumors are true and it's like just under PS4, PS3, Xbox One in quality, I'm fine with that if it's a handheld. That's
that'd be
pretty fucking
amazing.
impressive.
Yeah. All solid state, well, not
Yeah.
solid state, but all, no drive or anything to get fucked up from moving it around.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds
I guess they've
cool.
said it's cartridge. It's theoretically cartridge based for
Yeah.
any of the games that people don't buy digitally.
Probably, yeah. I mean, I would hope that it's going to have a 3DS slot at least, just
Yeah.
because, I mean,
Maybe they'll put out some of those sweet adapters.
just have the game sticking out the end.
Yeah.
Sign me up for that.
Like you could put your GBA games in your Nintendo.
I mean, the coolest thing would be if they can figure out how to keep using the form factor of a 3DS game and then just also make the new cartridges that style too, but just maybe with more capacity or whatever, if needed.
Yeah, I mean, those 3DS cartridges are what, like that? Like 2 inches by 2 inches, something like that?
No, they're like super tiny.
Yeah, they're pretty tiny.
They're
Are they smaller than
Yeah,
that?
they're like
They're like an SD card.
they're,
SD
yeah,
card
they're
size.
like,
a little
they're
bit
like
small,
they're
a little
like
bit
a
bigger
thicker than an
yeah.
SD card, but they're about that size.
Huh.
Like actually, I had to like look up when I first got it because there's an SD card slot and the game slot. And I was like, which one's which? Because that's how close they are.
I feel like I need to put a Bad Movie Fiends thing on my microphone. I didn't realize you had one as well.
We have a few.
I know. I'm aware. I was here when they arrived.
Make sure you put it facing camera, or else.
Camera facing camera. I'm gonna tell you right now, it's just easier to take the thing off.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All them sweet noises. By the way, I need to look at what kind of microphones these are. AKG D5.
Who wants to know?
These are.
Pop. Wow. Take that shit off, and it's like.
Yeah. All the plosives, thank. I just want to know what they are for comparison's sake. And if anybody asks me what they should use, I will tell them buy these
Yeah, they're pretty good.
sweet ass expensive microphones.
That's how I know that we do a good job with our sound, is because people are always asking,
Yeah.
like, what kind of microphones you guys use?
They're not that expensive. They're about $100 a piece.
They're $100 a piece. That's
Remember when we were all
that's
using
not
condensers?
Yeah, but I still want some Heil HD 40s or whatever they are. They're like $350 a piece. I still want some of those.
HDK?
No, they're Heil.
Is it the ones that just
HEIL?
have like that bubble right here is all that it tends to pick up?
Yeah, I mean these are too. These are super cardioid is what they call it.
Yeah.
But so are those. Those I mean Heil something 40. HD
PR40?
PR40, yeah. I almost said PR40. But
Are those the ones you've been looking at for
oh,
like
yeah.
3 or 4 years
yeah,
at least?
Those are like if you walk into a radio station, that's what they tend to have.
Yeah.
Like it's
We should get some ribbon mics so every time I shout, I shatter it.
let's not.
Oh, okay. I know which ones these are.
Yeah. I mean it's kinda
327.
yeah.
Few more Patreon months, we can afford one.
Well,
How much is it?
they're like
$327.
Times 4.
$1,200.
Yeah.
That's quite a few months of Patreon.
No, but I mean they're the kind of design like they've been around for 40 years and they haven't changed. It's just
Yeah.
like one of those classic designs like
Yeah.
never go out of style.
So you know they did it right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are.
All right. No more plosives over here.
They are quite nice.
Yeah, it's amazing the difference even one of these little cheapy pieces of garbage makes.
Yeah. I want to get one that fits my headset that I use when I'm streaming because I can hear my, it picks those up.
You should maybe.
I've angled it away, but it still
Okay, it still
Yeah.
picks it up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, you can take
Kleenex.
Take
almost anything.
like any of that packaging foam stuff. It'll
Yeah.
quiet down your sound a little bit, but or you
Yeah,
can
I
just,
just need to wrap it in something.
put a
so
sock over it.
Yeah. Put a little.
Don't come in. There's
Yeah.
there's sexing going on in this microphone.
Yeah. Put a little mouth condom on it.
Yeah.
It's a plosive condom. Just keeps
Yeah.
all them plosives out.
I mean, you know,
Hey man, if you're gonna stream, you got to bag it.
That's true.
Yep. Anyway, should we do the second half?
Oh, why not?
Hit our 45-minute mark and then get
Yeah.
the fuck out.
Here we go.
God, the shortest episode ever.
Some No Man's Sky time.
Yep.
Here we go.
All right, welcome back.
hey,
Second half.
still a motherfucking video game podcast.
Still is. And now it's time to talk about No Man's Sky.
We will warn you, there's one piece of correspondence, but it's No Man's Sky related. So
Yep.
if you're off that bandwagon, you're not going to miss anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all-
Well, before you turn it off, I want to get one I want to get one thing in. You may have seen the previous DualShock 4 disassembly and battery replacement YouTube video that I did a few weeks ago. The second part of that, which is the thumbstick replacement, will be coming soon. It is recorded. We are working on editing, and then it will be released to the general public. And if you have any ideas of other stuff that you want me to do, video game dissection related, please let us know. Email us at wheremyskull@noquarters.net or talk@noquarters.net and or hit us up on the tweeters or something and let me know. And as long as it is within my capabilities, I will throw a video up there.
Yeah.
I'd like to see you do a PS Vita section.
PS Viva section.
Yeah.
You cannot touch my PS Vita.
Oh.
I love my Vita.
If
Still,
there-
somehow.
Yeah. Mostly non-destructive teardowns.
Oh, okay.
You know, and
At least you'll have video. You can play it back to yourself, and then you'll see
right,
how to
you see-
reassemble it.
exactly,
from
except for the
video.
things that I break.
Yeah.
But you know, stuff that's small repairs / upgrades, etc. I'm considering maybe upgrading my PS4 hard drive, so I'll do a little video on that, which is phenomenally easy. But it's always nice to see somebody do it.
Well, physically, it's easy. It's the software that gets mildly tricky.
Right.
Mildly.
Yeah, I think it's gotten better with the new updates to the firmware. Because when you and I did it, I seem to remember we had to like recopy everything. And,
Yeah.
you had to manually copy all your saves, and now it's like you click a button and it'll put them all on a USB drive, and then
Right.
you reboot it, and it's like, all right,
Well,
I'm just
it's
putting them all
more
back.
like going out to the site and finding the full firmware versus like the latest update. It's like they
Right.
don't make it super easy to find it. But
Yeah.
Google was your friend.
But God, yeah, it's shockingly easy to
Yeah.
actually the physical part of it.
Right. So when I do that video, I'll include the details about where to get the right stuff and all that.
So you have not done that yet,
I have not. No,
You-
I'm still at the 500 gig, and
man. You got to be pushing it.
You know, surprisingly, I have managed to do pretty well because I.
You don't install any PS Plus stuff anymore. Or
Oh
what?
no, I do. I download all of it. I
And
just
then you
go back and delete.
Yeah.
I delete games that I'm not playing anymore, like
fucking leave
delete
everything.
NBA 2K16 immediately.
Yeah, I leave everything on it, and I have the 2 gig drive, and they're still like
Terabyte.
or yeah, 2 yeah, God, 2 gigs, man, it filled up so quick. Yeah. But no, the 2 terabyte, and I've still got like a gig left. It's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good because when I had the 500 in, I was like, fuck, man, this thing's always full.
Yeah. I was getting to that point, and I went back and just like cleaned house. I deleted a bunch of screenshots, and I deleted a bunch of video, and just a whole bunch of shit. All
I did
sorts
the
of
other
games.
day. I looked at I was looking for a screenshot I'd taken, and I didn't realize how many games just take a screenshot every time you get a trophy. Mm-hmm. And
Yeah,
man,
most games,
but like Arkham Knight
Ugh.
takes the worst screenshots
Yep.
for trophies.
Yep, the timing was always so far. It would be like just a blurry mess on the screen.
I mean, honestly, like I must have gotten every achievement in the Batgirl Batter a Family DLC because like I felt like I was the worst perv because for whatever reason all of my screenshots for the achievements were just like gross shots of Batgirl.
Yeah.
And I was like, I didn't do this.
like bat butt.
yeah, exactly. I was just like, I didn't
like
do
doing
this.
splits through the air,
Yeah,
or
I mean, just all kinds of gross things. I was like, I swear I didn't do this. It's just
Yeah.
the game. But yeah, I cleared all those out. All right.
But look for your videos.
So yeah, look for those videos. Subscribe to us on the YouTubes and follow us on Twitter, and you will see those updates very easily.
Yeah, and on Twitch.
And on Twitch,
I've been doing some streaming,
Yeah.
a little more lately. I haven't been archiving them to YouTube because, like, especially on Xbox, the Twitch app sucks. And then
Right.
every once in a while, it's just like, I'm going to boot you unceremoniously.
Yeah.
You know, so you'll be talking, and then it's like, Twitch stream has ended. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, well, goodbye, everyone.
Right.
Talk to you later. But yeah. So we update
Yeah.
on those regularly.
We are looking. Yeah, we are trying to. Well, at least I'm trying to get some more content on our
Yeah.
YouTube. Besides us just sitting around a table and talking about games, so keep an eye out.
Cool. So, the main event
The main event.
is here. No Man's Sky.
27 years in the making.
One of the most
Yeah.
anticipated PS4 games of all time.
Definitely of this year.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, it was like every E3, everyone's like, "Let's hear more about No Man's Sky," and it's like, no.
There's not much.
Yeah,
There's not much to know.
I know. But yeah, we all got it on PS4. You were going to get it on PC, Harlow, but you decided to go early because they delayed it for like 3 days.
Correct.
And
Yeah.
from what I've heard, you probably made the right decision because the PC version has been janky.
Okay.
It's been patched, and there have been a lot of. So I was watching all the launches through the lens of Reddit because it's a way to see stuff happening really fast, and also it's a good way to see the worst of everything happening real fast.
Yep.
Because people, like, as soon as a problem happens, they jump on Reddit and write 6,000 words of complaints about it. But like the first day, there was obviously a day one patch for PC as well, and the patches, the ensuing patches for both drivers and the actual game itself and workarounds all came out really fast. So like within probably 36 hours, there were a lot of, probably 90% of the issues that I saw had been resolved, and then the remaining vocal 1% or few percent of those issues had been taken care of once they got a few days later the ensuing PC patch. But
Yeah, there was
some jank.
Yeah, there was some jank, but I think the complaints were mostly people just honestly misunderstanding what they wanted for this game. You know, and taking everything that the developers said as gospel, as 100%, it'll be in here, and also doing somebody told me about this, and then that guy tells him about this, and then that guy tells him about this, and by the time you're done, it's like, well, it's going to be an MMO where you're just going to fly by a planet and everyone's going to see you, and it's not that at all.
Yeah, like, I think a lot of people were expecting some form of multiplayer, and to be fair, Sean Murray did indicate that you would be able to meet up somehow. And there are a lot of things that, like, I'll give them some credit, the haters. There are a lot of things that Sean Murray seemed to say during this 7,000-year development cycle that they were working on putting in the game, but you know, shit happens during development, and it's not always going to be, you know, especially with a game like this, small studio, big ambitions. It's really hard. Sometimes you intend to include a feature and you have an issue with some small part of it, so you take that out, and then that causes another problem, and it waterfalls until you have to remove something, you know, some larger part of the game entirely.
Yeah.
So shit happens.
But it's definitely been proven. People on the same planet will not see each other.
Right.
Because people somehow, among however many, quadrillions of planets they said?
18 quintillion.
Quintillion planet, yeah. Like, unfathomable
That's theoretical
number.
planets,
Yeah,
just for people who are...
But somehow people ended up on the same planet.
At the same time.
In the same location.
Yes.
And people have checked the logs on PC, and it's basically the only stuff it's sending is the coordinates of the planets you've discovered and what you've given the names to the things. And
Pretty
basically
much.
flagging it as, okay, Big Mackie found this.
Right.
You know.
It's not sending your specific planetary location data back to the server.
And considering the number of people and the number of variables that would have to be sent to a server, holy Christ. that
Well,
would never work.
Yeah, I mean, I can see a way for it to work theoretically, but I don't think there's a character model. From what I've been able to tell, there's no character model right now, and I also they'd have to build in a character model and animations and collision control or clipping or there are a lot of systems to build into that to make that work. Is it something that they may have in the future? Yeah, they might.
Well,
But
my question is, who cares?
yeah,
Like, that's really not the point of this game. It's not. It's really not to be finding other people.
yeah,
It's really not. And even if you did, what are you going to do? Hit them
Right.
with your mining tool?
right.
I mean, I got to be honest. Like, I'm actually surprised there's as much life in the galaxy as there is, or universe as there is. Like alien encounters are so frequent and ships flying by are so frequent that I kind of was expecting this to be more barren, if that makes any
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah. It does make sense. And
Yeah.
that's kind of one of my issues that I have, I guess theme-wise of the game, because it's presented as you are this explorer and you're going to these places and you're discovering them and you're planting your flag and saying Big Mac, he found this planet,
Yeah.
and then he found this outpost, and then he found this. But the problem is there's stuff already there. There's trading outposts already there.
I kind of
And
thought about that too. I was
Yeah, and you're like- and
I'm
you're the
discovering
one-
this like Columbus discovered shit.
Right.
Yeah.
You're
Exactly.
discovering it for your species, whatever you happen to be. That's the way that I've kind of
Yeah.
like after the
Justified it.
initial shock of like, oh hey, here's there are all these aliens. Well, cool aliens. B, also, why are there aliens? I thought I was okay. And in reading, if you go and read through, you don't even have to read through the lore, but if you read the lore that's presented to you in monoliths and such, which are these things that you discover throughout the planets that will teach you a little bit about alien lore and a bit about language. There are 3 alien races, by the way. There's the Korvax, there's the Vy'keen, and the Gek. So if you hear us refer to those, that's what they are. But there are these monoliths that teach you about the language and a little bit about the lore. And as you progress in the lore, you'll hear them talk about travelers. And I think that the travelers are us. And I think that they've been sort of expecting us. Like, our species has never been to the galaxy, but we're coming for some reason. Like, and I think that there's going to be something interesting once I get to the center of the galaxy, but these 3 races have already explored this galaxy. Like, they're already there. And we're just now discovering them, whatever species we are, for the first time. So that's kind of interesting, seeing how you as a unknown species are Columbus discovering this, this, and what you're doing as you're doing that. Like, it's kind of odd. Like, I feel a little bit weird sometimes. Like, these people don't necessarily have claim to these planets, but I'm just hopping around on these planets and blowing up all the resources and taking all this shit just so I can
and they
move
have all
on.
these sentinels running around who stop you as soon as you've mined too much stuff.
Or just stop you for existing.
Yeah.
There's some places where the sentinels are really dicks.
Yeah, and some planets, that's what's interesting to me about the exploration in this is some planets you land on and it's just like, all right, cool, I can just go wherever and I can jog around and use my jetpack to just run around this planet first person and go from question mark to question mark all over. Obviously it's easier to hop in your ship and go.
Right.
But and the plants are like, plants are fine. The animals are just like basically dumb cows. They're just like, hey, you're a person, whatever. And then you'll land on another planet. It's like, all right, this planet's coated in toxic acid rain, and there's crab things that'll attack you on sight no matter what. And it's interesting, the variation there. Though I've found the planets don't tend to look terribly different to me. They all look somewhat similar, and the
You have to do some more exploring because they can get weird.
Yeah. I mean, the most of them just like, it's like, all right, this looks like Beastie Boys, so what you want video with cool colors for everything. And, there's like that weird, not duotone, but it's just like this weird, like just you gave everything a different cast and suddenly it looks funky.
Yeah, it's like somebody's playing around with the histogram in Photoshop and everything. Like, okay, so the grass is red now, but
which
but
is
the
part of
sky
the
is
procedurally
orange.
which is part of the procedurally generated thing, obviously.
But things do get like I've and Harlow as well. I've explored a number of star systems. I think I'm on 10 or 12 now, and I think Harlow's probably on 30 or 40
At least,
judging by what you've told me. But I'm a slow player. I explore a lot of a planet before I leave it, and I like to explore.
That's what I've been doing.
All of the planets in a star system before I move on. But I've experienced a lot of vastly different planets. Like I've been on a basically dead planet where it's just a sort of wobbly, rocky face for the entire planet, and then
basically like no plants, no animals.
No plants, no animals.
Not even really minerals. Just sometimes.
Yeah. Sometimes it's just basically a rock, and then some that are like that, but they have intricate cave systems under the underground.
And that's a pro tip if you're in one that has inclement weather. Is if you go underground, you can shield yourself. Just, like if you're freezing or getting too much acid or toxics or whatever, just burrow down in the ground.
Yeah, if you have a basically the grenade launcher for your tool. I like that they call the weapon / mining thing. They call it a multi-tool, and I think that's kind of like.
Yeah, it's like a space Leatherman.
Yeah, exactly. It's like all the things you would need to use in space to get around. Like you've got if you want, you can add basically a plasma gun to it, or a not rocket launcher, but a grenade launcher, and then a thing that will mine minerals for you. And that's like I like the naming convention on that. Just because it's not like, here's your fucking beast fucker power thrust gun mecha 5.
I want that. Is that how do I get that unlocked?
I'll sell you one.
Yeah.
But it's not some sort of like, it fits with the theme of this game. It's not some sort of like, hyper masculinized, hyper aggressive.
Yeah, right. Well, it's a multi-tool, and what you do with it is up to you. Like you can customize the attachments. Mining lasers default, and unless you pump it up, it's not doing a lot of damage to anything but rocks.
Right.
Yeah, and your ships have blasters as well, but your ships are basically like trade ships. They don't look like attack fighters.
It depends on the
many
ship.
Ways. I've not seen many that look anything like that. Most of them just look like fucking space tugs. You know?
My ship looks like a fucking space bus, but it's my space bus. There
are many like it, but this one is yours.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I apparently grow attached to these things, but like I grew really attached to my original ship, the one that the pre-order bonus ship.
Yeah.
Which isn't that big of it's not that big of a bonus. It's just a nice looking, decently outfitted for the beginning of the game ship.
And it starts with the warp drive, which the regular one is not.
Right. That is kind of a big advantage.
Yeah.
I can't imagine.
You just have to go around long enough to discover the plans for the warp drive, which isn't like the first system, obviously.
Yeah.
I haven't found it yet.
You should have, if you have the pre-order ship.
I
you should have the
ship.
Yeah,
I just can't upgrade it's only at 20% or something like that.
Yeah.
Right, but I'm saying the if you don't have that pre-order ship, you don't even have a warp drive at all. Like you're stuck in your first system.
Isn't that the first mission on the...
Yeah.
Basically, is to repair your stuff and find the blueprints for a warp drive. But really, like, once you get like off planet, that ship is, you suddenly find out that ship is it's kind of meager. But I stuck with mine for probably 10 hours worth of play, just because I liked the way it looked and nothing else kind of felt like a real upgrade. Yeah. But there's some badass looking ships out there. There's some really cool, like, the procedural generation tends to kind of average a lot of things out in this game, but when it goes a little bit wild, it produces some really, really fucking cool stuff. There's some like super pointy spaceships and some super blocky spaceships and some
weird like grasshopper looking ones.
And asymmetric spaceships sometimes. Like there's a lot of neat stuff. Like exploring just you got to get out there and look at stuff.
I just want the one with the most inventory slots. That's all I give a fuck about right now.
I would say, like, living your life in pursuit of that with your ship is a fool's errand right now.
A little bit, yeah.
Because
I haven't upgraded my ship in like 20 hours of play.
Yeah. You will get there, but it would be more useful to you to upgrade your exosuit first.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing. Because I'm still in the first system, the Lundgren system.
Yeah.
And,
Wait, you haven't warped at all? Like,
No, I haven't left system.
Oh.
I'm just having fun on Showdown in Little Tokyo.
okay.
Yeah. I
And
stayed
then-
in my first system for a while.
All right.
Yeah, but I mean that planet had tons of shit on it, so I was just like, all right, I'm just gonna keep going here because I mean that's what I've discovered about this game is, to me, what it feels like is all of, and this is gonna sound bad, but it's all the filler fetch quest stuff from every open world game without any of the main plot stuff. None of the main missions that move
Yeah.
things on and have variation. This is like the collect a bunch of herbs and then trade them in for this.
But it's not
that's-
even that. You don't even have to do that. You just
Yeah.
hang out if you
Well,
want.
yeah, but you still have to get plutonium and other things. I mean, obviously, there's plenty of stuff there, but you have to get plutonium to be able to power up your ship, to be able to launch it. You also
Yeah.
have to get carbon to, keep your life support going.
Yeah.
Everything costs something at some point in this game,
Yeah.
and it's like you're constantly refilling that. And obviously, once you get further along, it doesn't really matter. But early on, I realized I had to break myself of my open world thing of like,
Go to the next question mark.
yeah, well, or just no. It was more like, well, this is going to be valuable. I got to hang on to this. I need titanium. I'm going to need this later. And so I have an inventory full of shit that doesn't mean
Yeah.
anything. And once I found Outpost, I was like, okay, anything green can just be sold. Who cares? And trying to save it and be like, well, they're only going to give me 4% over the galactic value here. Maybe I shouldn't sell it. It's like, no, just fucking sell it. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, like you have to see. The thing is, like, you only need enough to do what you want to do,
Yeah.
and that is that's a big derivation for me. Like, I know there are other games out there, like I guess Elite Dangerous is kind of like that. But you only need to get what you need to get to do what you want to do, and it's either limited or unlimited based on how you want to how you want to experience this reality.
Well, it definitely forces you to play a specific way because it's almost like if you think about Fallout being over encumbered, and then suddenly, all right, I've got too many radishes. I gotta now what? Now I gotta drop them or start doing this so that I can move better. And in this one, it was like the first hour and a half, 2 hours, I felt like I was in the inventory screen more than anything else. I'm like, this can't be all there is to this game. Is managing fucking inventory.
I think you're probably too focused on like collecting everything you see because you don't need to collect everything you see.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need to harvest all the carbon. You don't need to harvest all the plutonium.
Yeah.
You just need to have enough on you from moment to moment.
Yeah.
Because you're going to get more of that stuff later. Don't worry. There's going to be all of the common elements. There's always going to be some of that.
Yeah, that's what I realized is like with the procedural generation, every planet you go to for the most part is going to have here's this list, and you're going to have probably 75% of that list on every planet. Eventually you're going to get to you guys are talking about there. You're going to get to a dead planet where there's nothing there. But in general, like if you're in a system and okay, this one's got tons of carbon and tons of iridium, is that what it's called? I can't remember.
That's
one of
one
the
of them,
green
yeah.
ones that you sell
Well,
for a lot.
see, iridium, even there, like iridium is useful a little bit later on, but like.
But as it is, it's like I don't need to stockpile it right now.
No.
I should just be selling it so that I can, so you can find those portalets out in the middle of nowhere that have your
right, they have your suit upgrades.
Your suit upgrades, because that was when I saw that, I'm like, okay, I'm going to find every fucking one of these things that I possibly can right
won't.
now because I hate inventory, and apparently there's a cap on it.
48.
At some point. 48. Yeah.
I don't know if you already are doing this, if you're following the path of the Atlas, or if you just kind of were like, nah.
I don't know.
The red thing that was outside your ship when you first started, the little red ball.
I think I hit it.
Well, the easiest way to tell is if you, in the early going, if you hit the warp screen, you have the free exploration, you have path towards center. If there's a purple one, then you have the path of the Atlas.
As early as he hasn't even warped out a system. It probably hasn't even given him that one, because it
Possibly,
took
yeah.
me warping
That's
2,
true.
I
Yeah,
think.
a couple times. Anyway, but I was going to say, if you get an Atlas pass, every single space station has a room that has a suit upgrade in it.
Yeah.
Every
Okay.
single space station.
It's on. It actually is easier
It's-
for me to find them on planet, but
Yeah.
I mean, but it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know
guess
you're
the whole-
guaranteed at least one on every space
yeah,
station.
and the Atlas Pass thing frustrated me too, because I was like, man, how do I got to craft that? You know, because it's there's always something like you're gathering all this stuff not only to refuel your ship, but you're gathering it to craft the stuff you need to make something else. You know, that's where
Right.
the Minecraft comparisons come in, where it's like, okay, well, you need to make enough of these so that you can make this, and then once you have 5 of those, you can combine it with 100 platinum and 100 iridium, and now you can make this thing that'll make your gun better, or or make your ship's shields better. All that stuff. So there's always a goal to be attaining. I get it, like, it's how I looked at it. Is there's always some upgrade you could be working on, but then obviously all the upgrades are going to take up all the inventory on your ship and your person by the time you're done with them. But,
Yeah, you just kind of have to decide like what weapon you like and what you want to power up. 'Cause
What's
it's
important to
it's
you.
a fool's errand to like try to upgrade, to like spread yourself too thin. Like, I mean, I just decided I didn't want the bolt caster. Period. So I just upgraded my mining laser to actually do damage in battle and have the grenade launcher. So it was like that was good enough for me.
because I accidentally turned mine into a bolt caster and couldn't figure out how to change it back to a mining laser. And I was
Triangle.
like, oh, fuck that. I sold it.
Same.
I sold it and got one that had like super upgraded mining laser, everything. There were like 4 different upgrades on it. I was like, all right, I'll buy this for 30
Super
grand.
upgraded.
Well, you know what I mean.
Fucking noob.
Oh, sorry. I've only put 10 hours into this fucking wander around planets doing nothing game.
Yeah, you're not elite unless you've put
Yeah,
at least
clearly.
40 hours into it already.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of elite,
Are you going to talk some Elite Dangerous comparisons?
well, I just I've put a lot of hours in this game. The crazy thing is, I don't know if I like it, and I just kind of keep playing it. Like, I'm not in like I hate it camp, but like I'm not in like the I'm absolutely in love with it camp. I'm somewhere completely in the middle.
It feels like a filler game to me. Like if I'm bored and I can't think of what to play, I'll probably play this. But unlike BJ, I don't have that desire to be like, I need to get back to space.
Right.
And maybe it's because the progression has been so slow, and kind of like that the whole path to the center of the galaxy thing is kind of like, nah. Maybe it's because I know that's so far off. That's like me going, I want to be a millionaire. And then being like, all right, how do I accomplish that today? It's kind of like, that's a lot of stuff I got to do to get there. And so, like, the immediate gratification isn't even close. So maybe that's part of it for me.
Yeah.
And
I think there's more of this game that I like. Like, basically, my perfect space game is some kind of weird amalgamation of Elite Dangerous and No Man's Sky. Like, each one has something that I want the other one to have. I think there's more of this game that I want out than Elite Dangerous. But Elite Dangerous, like, ship models, space, like, flight controls, everything about that is, like, so much immensely better. Like, this one's so dumbed down for the most part.
yeah, the flight is incredibly basic.
Yeah, but like they added planetary landings in Elite Dangerous, and it's so lame. It's so Me Too. Like they're so pointless. Like they're
You said
time
the planets?
Huh?
The planets?
Yeah, you get. Well, I mean, you can land on a planet, but it's like you get out and you like almost ride something that drives as bad as the Mako around and look for stuff, and then get back on, and it's. I mean, as beautiful as the game is, it's like suddenly like, did I just boot up my Sega Genesis when I land on the planet? Like that's how bad it looks. So, that was just like very much a Me Too thing that they put into that game. So obviously that's terrible on that and should be, No Man's Sky version.
Yeah.
But No Man's Sky, like their emphasis on the exploration thing is wonderful. I just wish it wasn't. I understand the need to have what you do consume something. It just seems like the ratio is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Like how fast your life support and stuff drains and how fast your mining laser drains. I don't know. I feel like it's kind of that whole thing of, would we have gotten this far and have interstellar travel without perfecting, with having an iPhone that's battery drain is dead by the halfway through the day? Like
Well, yeah.
Like, would we have like made these things a little more efficient?
Yeah, when you're on planet, it feels like you get punished for exploring for too long.
Sure.
I don't know how it's like in space. I know that using the warp will use up a certain amount of thadium, is it?
Well, no, that's
Whichever one when you hold L1 and
Can I-
R1
yeah.
to warp. Like
Yeah.
that's not warp. That's pulse.
You've got
pulse
cruise,
engine.
you've got like boost, and then you've got a pulse engine, and then you have
warp.
full on warp.
Yeah.
yeah.
Warp uses up warp
Cells.
cells, which are made by warp cells are made by a complicated process. It's probably the only complicated like multi-step crafting process that I've found so far. But so warp cells are for warping. Thanium 9 is the pulse jet.
I mean, there are upgrades you can make. Like if you're like, I pulse a lot and I'm running through this a lot, you can put an upgrade that helps your consumption of it. But
You can also upgrade your suit to last longer. Like
Yeah,
I've
a
put
little bit.
one upgrade in my life support, and that lasts me so much longer unless I'm on a harsh planet.
Sure.
So I don't know. Like
Yeah, it seems like
I
they
don't
have
get
ways
that
to,
feel, and it may be the way that I've been playing that doesn't bother me. Like I have a system for how much plutonium I keep on me to keep my suit alive, and how much plutonium I keep in the ship to keep my ship launching and all that.
Yeah, I mean, I almost always have one full stack in my ship of plutonium just because, and Thamium 9, it's like, if I can get off the planet, fuck saving that because every asteroid has
Yeah,
a... That's another thing I'll say. Like, I guess I'll just get all my negative thoughts out of the way.
Sure.
Like, as far as, like, the samesies argument of, like, everything being kind of the same, like, I get that there are asteroids in space, but like, are there that many asteroids in space? Because like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's a little strange that like, everywhere that's not occupied by a planet is practically solid asteroid field,
Solid
which is
bunch of rocks.
which is good for your mining purposes.
Yeah.
But it's a little weird that you have this pulse engine where it's just like, I'll just go through that. But if I'm flying normal, it's like there's asteroids everywhere.
Also, like these are. I will say this, and this is the only possible, explanation that I could have for this is that who knows what galaxy this is,
Sure.
and we've never really had that close up of a look of any other galaxies, and they could be filled with rocks.
Yeah.
Our next star system over could be filled with rocks from us. So
Yeah, I
don't
know.
know.
It takes is one planet exploding, and you've got debris everywhere
Right.
in a solar system.
That could just be the way this galaxy is. I don't know for sure. I'm really interested to get to the center of the galaxy and find out what happens. Like and to find out what happened. Like apparently, I'm not even going to say anything because that might be a spoiler for myself and everyone else. But I just want to see what's different when you get closer to the center of the galaxy, and if there's something even further different once you get there.
Yeah, I've made some decent progress, but I still think I've got a long ways to go. And then I'm actually at the point where it's like I baked up like 15 warp cells, threw them in my inventory, and was just like, let's just go. Let's warp till we can't warp no more. And I'm just
well, yeah, and it was crashing for a while, but they luckily patched that out because I guess it was if you went to more than 3 systems at a time, somehow it overload the
about
memory.
50-50 shot. Yeah,
Jump,
crashing.
and if you basically back-to-back jumps, right?
Yeah. So they patched that luckily, but that was what was keeping so many people
Yeah.
from progressing. They're like, all right, I got to land on a planet, I got to hop out, I got to save, or I got to find a space station. Which, of course, the first time I tried to get into the space station,
Did you crash into it?
oh yeah, I fucking sent that thing spiraling off
you're going
of that thing.
400 space miles an hour and just blast into it.
Yeah, well, I do like. The game is so good about approaching a planet and just having this majesty of this huge thing filling your view screen, and then like the heat of entering the atmosphere and the shaking, and just and then like it cutting off the pulse because it's like, no, you're gonna crash into the fucking planet. Stop.
I like how there are many things that are automatic on the new ships.
and I don't even mind like the dithering that it does as it fades the detail in, which I know that bothers a lot of people. They don't like that it was done that way, but I kind of like the dithering because it doesn't make it seem like it's just popping in.
Yeah,
that's a much better way of handling it.
A little fade is nice as opposed to
Also, like that, it's detailed enough that talking about the entry burn. Not all planets have a thick enough atmosphere to do that. So like you hit
Oh,
some,
so you could pulse directly into the
yeah,
planet
you could just
and
like.
destroy
Well,
yourself?
I mean, no. I'm just saying like they don't have that burn effect when you're coming down hard. Like I've been in thin enough atmospheres on certain planets where it's like you can go pretty much straight down. You never get that like entry
The
burn.
re-entry, yeah. I want to bring up our Neil deGrasse Tyson wet blanket moment of the day from Ian, our buddy Ian, who's watching our live stream chat here. And apparently, there are not many asteroids in space. They've mostly been pulled into a larger body's gravitational field. So it is probably unlikely.
Yeah. Well,
But they know that you need that element,
Right.
so that's why they're all there.
So at least Ian didn't spoil something for us,
Yeah.
spoil some movie or...
I guess, I mean, I'm not saying that you necessarily see this in Elite Dangerous either, but like I just wish there was some more variation of things you could run into in the space part. Like I feel like this game
Yeah.
is a ground-based space exploration thing first, and the space part of it is kind of secondary. Like it's almost utilitarian. You know, like it's just like just get to the next planet.
Yeah, it feels like there's no point in being in space
Right.
aside from I have to do this to get to the next planet.
Right.
Yeah. Well, but I
have heard there's pirates.
There are space
yeah,
pirates.
yeah,
I've been
absolutely.
attacked by space
and
pirates.
they can
dozens of times.
drop you out of pulse. Like Elite
Yeah.
Dangerous has that warp disruption thing you can get yanked out of. So this has something similar.
I don't know how they managed to yank. Maybe it's just that they come in proximity enough to mess with your pulse jet, but it's annoying for sure.
Yep.
And then
Well,
you leave a space grave out there.
Yeah,
somewhere.
well, I was going to say it's even better when like 2 or 3 people take you out of that, and then you blow them the fuck out of the galaxy, and then you're like, suck it.
you blow them up, you steal their shit,
Yep.
and then you're like, all right, back to pulse.
Yep.
Bazong. But like the majority of space is nothingness, so it stands to reason that the majority of your space exploration is going to be time between nothingness.
Yeah, I'm
So-
just saying, like,
Yeah,
I would
agree
like
there.
a comet here and there, or like a nebula, or something
yeah.
interesting, like just
For someone who hasn't left his little solar system yet, like when you're jumping between solar system, how does that work?
So you when you're in space, when you're exoatmospheric, you press down on the D-pad and it pops up your
that
star
map.
chart, and you just choose where you want to go, hit the button, and it'll warp you. I want to say one thing about the game real quick that ties into the warp. Like when you're warping from one system to another, that is your secret load time. Like
Yeah.
people say that the game has no load times, and it's almost true.
yeah, but like each solar system is an instance. Then you don't really have load times,
Right,
When
that-
you're
yeah.
in that
Yeah.
solar system.
So you have load times when you have a load time when you load the game up the first time, which is obvious, and then when you warp from system to system, that is a load time as well. Otherwise, it's mostly seamless, which
Yeah.
is really nice.
So that's
But yeah.
basically all it does is you're picking it on the galactic map, and
Yep.
then
yeah, the things they need to improve on that.
Are everything
Well,
and-
literally, the galactic map is kind of fucking terrible.
yeah,
It's so hard to tell
I've pulled
where
it up and I
anything
couldn't
is.
really navigate it.
Nope.
Yeah,
Nope.
you've got to like right stick, like hold in the direction of a line. Like you basically need a path. Like you either
Yeah.
need a free exploration, find a star, and it will chart you the jumps that you need to get there. But you've got to like draw the lines and then like circle around so that's actually an angle you can see. But there is zero search. So like, for example, I thought I'd missed something in the game, and I was like panicked until I was like, all right, I got to read the internet and just get spoiled because I thought I didn't do something in the system where I first encountered something. I was like, I must have missed this. It was Atlas Pass related.
Okay.
I found the thing that I thought I was supposed to get my first Atlas Pass, and I didn't. And I was like, I must have fucked up and missed this. So let me go back because I'm only like one jump away.
Yeah.
Good fucking luck.
It's so hard to find
I had
where
named
you
it.
are.
There was no search. Like so it was like it could be in any direction in
You
a
can look-
3-dimensional plane.
You can look through recent discoveries and maybe find it.
Oh, I
'cause
knew the
there's-
name. I'm saying I renamed the place. I knew exactly the name of it, but like
Yeah.
to find it, no. I mean,
Well, when you're in that star chart, you can hit right on the D-pad, I think, and that will give you recent discoveries.
does it? Okay.
Yeah, and it will let you scroll through recent stuff that's around you that's been recently discovered. So if you're not near anybody else, and if that is still near enough, you may be able to find it. But it's really difficult. For you, Mackie, what I would recommend is is there's an option that is path to the center. So those 5 dots up at the top, if you hit R1 and go to the one that's path to the center, which will give you a yellow line,
Okay.
just start following that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Start-
just
head
do
that direction.
Do that a couple times, and it'll go like, "You discovered an anomaly," and that's when you.
Yeah,
Figure.
I wish this game was better about telling you what to do, because I felt like I must have missed a bunch of tutorial things. Like I didn't even realize you could scan everything on the planets. Like I don't like.
I think you may have missed some of the stuff
Yeah,
in the lower
it-
right-hand corner.
Yeah, because mine just kept saying hit down to see the galaxy map when you're in space, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm on a planet. Quit telling me that. But I didn't realize if you go to the map of recent discoveries, like each planet, you can name, like obviously everyone knows you can name everything that you found and all that. But if you just go through and hit square, you can start uploading each thing for credits. And I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
And suddenly I'm like, okay, now I just gained myself, 80,000 credits, but there's no option to just go upload, just fucking upload all of it.
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
I'm
like,
hoping that's coming. That's
Yeah.
got to come in a patch.
I think that'll be a tweak. Like,
I mean,
think- 'cause
I'd
I'm
be
not-
okay if it even had like a, "Hey, are you sure?" Because you're not going to be able to rename these after you upload them, kind of thing.
yeah.
I mean, I had fun naming a planet Expendables 2 because I thought it was going to be good and it was a huge disappointment when I landed on it. But, that stuff's fun, but I don't want to sit there and name each animal asshole 1, asshole 2, bigger asshole,
Yeah.
just-
Well, you don't have to name them. You
I
can
know.
just hit the
I know,
square
you just
upload.
hit the square.
I think this game suffered for such a small team in a few minor but kind of infuriating ways like that. Like they needed a larger, and they've gotten, since the game launched, apparently they have gotten an influx of playtesting talent from Sony to help them out. And a bunch of other things, like they got a community manager and stuff like that. But they've gotten a lot of teeny tiny things wrong. But I still think that it's been,
Yeah, for a team of
Like,
15 people, this is astounding.
I think it's extraordinary so far.
Yeah.
Okay, before we wrap up, I want to go back to one thing about the star map. And yes, like a team of 15 making this game is, holy shit, I'm impressed. Especially even though it took them longer than they thought, even though it's taken a long time, I'm super impressed. The star chart thing, one thing that I would definitely wish, if I had a wish button right here and I could press one thing, the star chart giving me a path from where I've traveled so far, like giving me a breadcrumb trail.
Well, you said there's 5 dots over there, and only 3 of them are ever used. So it seems like they have plans. Well, what's the 4th one? You got free exploration, you got path to center, and then you have, if you have a manual waypoint set.
Black holes.
But that just came up as a waypoint, right?
It's the 4th one.
Okay.
I don't know what the 5th one will be.
Okay.
You might find that once we get to the center of the galaxy.
All right.
Yeah, you got to get to that center.
That's the next thing that I'm going to do, is I'm gearing up to start pushing towards the center of the galaxy. I'm
Hey, Mr. Owl, how many jumps does it take to get to the center of the galaxy?
like 200.
1, 2, 3.
Fully upgraded, like 200 from what I understand, or something like that. But I'm on the path of the Atlas, and people who are there who know what that is, it's not too spoilery. I think I've gotten almost to all of the things that I'm going to get there, because I spent so much time in my first few systems. It has allowed me, I'm sort of OP for where I should be in that story, I think. But that's what, once I hit where I think is going to be the finish there, that's when I'm going to start heading towards the center. I'm going to just point my ship and
Well, I will
fire all of my guns at
spoil
once.
that if you're taking the path of the Atlas, you're also going towards the center. So it's not a detour. I mean, it might look like diverging lines when you look at the star map, but you're working towards the center when you take the path of the Atlas.
Well, I've been
It's kind of the training / easy button, sort of. It's-
watching my my distance to center, and I've been to 7 so far, and I haven't gotten that much closer. So
Well, I mean, have you hit a black hole yet?
no,
Oh, okay.
no, I don't want to bust my ship up.
All right.
Pro tip: if you fly into a black hole, you're going to have to repair some shit on your ship, and it's likely going to be difficult to repair. So
Yeah, but
gird thy loins for that.
it also jumps you like 76,000 light years.
Yeah,
Sweet.
Yeah.
but I want to hit the. I've been wanting to hit the Atlas stations
Okay.
first. So like that's the path that I'm currently taking.
Yeah, the things that like I'm not super high on this. Like I have a lot of issues with it that keep me from coming back constantly. But I will say, man, just the sense of like enormity and scale that this game conveys is really, really great. And it's one of the first games I played where I'm like, man, I could see playing this in VR and liking it,
absolutely,
and liking it way better.
Especially for space, like spaceship flying.
As long as
Yeah.
they fix the FOV.
Yeah. Field of view is not good.
Apparently, they adjusted the FOV in the latest patch. I didn't notice it necessarily, but I think it's been giving me a headache.
Yeah. Well, all right. So here's my main problem. When you're on foot and you're trying to do mining, your reticle is this little tiny dot, and there's a lot of times where you will have discovered something on the planet that will be a big, I think, pentagon, and it will sometimes be in your field of vision. So my eye always wants to look to that because it's a bigger thing, and I like end up shooting my mining laser off to the side of what I'm trying to mine,
Yeah.
and it's like, guys, like too much shit on the screen sometimes
Yeah.
at one point in time.
You need to be able to.
Like toggle those little.
So the
waypoints.
D-pad, there's a lot of room on the D-pad for them to be able to, for us to do stuff. And I would really like for them to use that to greater advantage, like being able to turn waypoints on and off, and also be able to turn. Like I'd like a setting to go in and turn the entire HUD off. And this is the only game that I will ever say. Well, not ever. The only game up till now I've said that, but I want to be able to turn the HUD off so I can just look at the grandeur that they presented in front of me.
Yeah, I mean, have emergency warnings come up, perhaps. Like,
Yeah.
hey, your life support's failing.
Yeah.
Might want to
That might help.
take care of that.
Also, they need to fix that 75% shit because 75% is not low.
Yeah.
When my life support is 75%, I'm fine. Thank
I
you.
also wish that their milestone stuff wouldn't linger on the screen for as long as it does.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think they're going to fix that.
Yeah, that it's like I get it. Like yes, the music's nice.
Mhm.
I did something good. This shouldn't take like 20 seconds to show up and then go away while I'm trying to do other stuff. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of little things I hope they fix, but
Yeah.
I could definitely see this like replacing something like, if Forza Horizon 3 wasn't coming out, but like Forza Horizon 2 last summer, I listened to so many podcasts just chilling and playing that game, and this is exactly that type of thing. I mean, even though yes, the music is nice, but
Music is procedurally generated as well.
no, it's not.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah. But either way, I could see myself just putting on podcasts and catching up with all that sort of shit while playing this game. Like to me, it feels like something you do in the background or something you do while you've got something else going in the background that you want to do as well.
Yeah, I'm hoping this is a game we can report back in a couple months and things will have changed. Like they will have added some of the things to fix some of our complaints. Because I mean, I hope it's the kind of game that keeps improving upon itself.
Yeah.
They definitely plan on it. Like
Sure.
Sean Murray's, from what he said, they intend to keep on updating it and adding content as well.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that.
Yeah, like I said, I feel like I have negative things to say about it, but it's still its sense of wonder kind of almost like eclipses the negative things. Just that childlike wonder of like landing on a planet for the first time. I mean, God, if you could have seen me encountering the aliens for the first time, that was just like, like, I mean, I guess mostly because I thought it was going to be a lot more rare.
Yeah.
Like it just seemed like, oh my God, okay, who is this? I can talk to him. Like I don't understand any words. I can learn some words, and then maybe I can understand more of what they're saying. Like that became like that initial push was very exciting.
Yeah, and I like the idea of like learning a language word by word. It's pretty cool because it's like when you're presented with options when you're speaking with one of the aliens and you only know like a few words, and when one of them's calm, you're like, okay, I know I can't freak out whenever whatever this is happening.
Right.
But
Yeah, it's nice when you have the word for the clue. It's like, oh, okay, you want this.
yeah. Yeah, so I mean there's a lot of good stuff in here, and that's, despite the fact that I feel like I keep doing the same things over and over, I still keep wanting to go back to it, which is a good sign.
Yeah.
I'm definitely not in the mood to marathon it or anything. Like I could not see sitting there for an entire day playing that game like
Yeah, I
I
did,
have with
but
so
yeah.
many. Yeah.
I have, but yeah, not so much in the recent days.
So the music is procedural. there's a lot of it that's similar, and there are a few cues that are definitely not procedural, like your like the milestone.
Yeah.
But it's basically chopped up bits of runs and riffs
Yeah.
and stuff that are
Makes sense.
that are all sort of woven together in a algorithmic way.
Well, yeah, it's very much background noise.
Yeah.
Either way. But yeah, that's cool.
Do we want to listen to our voicemail?
Yeah,
related
let's go
to
ahead and play
this?
that.
Thought we already listened to our
No, we were going to do it first, and then we didn't. Yep.
I'm sorry.
Yep.
You said yes, and then you started talking.
Sorry.
Hey, NQcast. This is Sunny California. Calling about No Man's Sky. Everyone's probably calling about goddamn No Man's Sky. Either way, me and some coworkers were arguing about it, and from what I'm seeing and hearing without ever touching the game, it does not look like a $60 affair. It looks like a $30 affair. So, instead of a steak dinner, a bit of cheeseburgers with a hooker. Either way, it got me worried because that kind of game apparently is not multiplayer, but demands online. Do you think this is now going to be the beginning of a new category of single-player, online-only game, or do you think the game has legs if you do not have the internet? Sunny California out.
Oh, it definitely has legs if you don't have the internet.
Yeah, and I don't think it requires
It does
being
not.
connected to the internet.
No.
It
If you want to upload any of your names or anything, yeah.
right. It doesn't yell at you or interrupt your experience if it can't reach its servers. So it. You all right? Okay. So it is doing everything that it needs to do on your machine, and I think it really only looks to the game's servers for your discoveries.
That's my understanding from people that have looked at the PC code and looked at what's being uploaded and what's
Yeah.
coming back. Is like the data packets are so tiny, and it's basically like, yeah, this user discovered this and named it this, and
Yeah.
that's kind of it.
And I've spent so much time in this game with the little red circle that says that you're not connected to the game servers.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So like when you go into the discoveries tab on your options screen, it says you're not connected.
Yeah.
But it doesn't bother you about it. So like I wouldn't worry that there's any, that this is, oh my God, this is the tolling of the last bell for any single player non-connected
Yeah.
experience. Also, this game was never promised to be a multiplayer game. It's not going to be a multiplayer game, and probably, and don't expect it. But there's definitely $60 worth of game here,
Yeah,
especially if you're gonna break it down into a per hour.
I don't like judging it like that, but yeah, I mean it's easily you're going to spend so fucking much time in this game.
You can,
But the caveat obviously is if you're someone like me, it feels like you're doing a lot of the busy work that's in other games, and that's the main game. And for some people, totally fine with that because everything else outweighs that. Where it's like, all right, yes, it's pretty freaking awesome to land on this cool planet and see this dinosaur thing and almost land my ship on it by accident and, all that stuff. And then other people, which is obviously the people that have just turned on this thing, they're like, there's nothing to do.
Yeah.
All I'm doing is mining and exploring and there's nothing else. And it's like,
Well, then fly to
yeah.
another fucking planet.
Yeah.
See what happens when you go somewhere else.
Yeah.
I think you really hurt yourself with narrow exploration in this game. If you don't get out there and explore more than a planet, more than a system, you are doing yourself a disservice.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that directly to you, Mackie.
I know.
But I'm saying
to the
that
listeners. As well.
more to the listeners. Like if you are placing yourself in a singular experience, that is all you're going to get.
Yeah.
And if you don't try to progress, then you're not going to find how much more there is to do out there than constantly refresh your inventory.
Yeah.
So
Also, I feel like I'd be remiss if I didn't say, gameplay-wise, or at least inventory-management-wise and crafting-wise, this game is most similar to Ark.
Oh, really?
that weird game
The-
where
the
the dinosaurs
dinosaur,
came
yeah.
after you, and you
Or you ate the dinosaur poop.
Yeah.
Well, no, I don't think I ate dinosaur poop.
Oh,
but
no, I saw you eat dinosaur poop.
I mean, you can eat berries and then you can make yourself poop.
Oh,
That's right. You can make yourself. Poop.
That's right.
Yeah.
There's a poop command.
Yeah. I'm saying it's the inventory management is very much like Arc. I don't know if it was influenced by or just by necessity, just similar.
Yeah, but I wouldn't stay away from it because of the price. But at this point, you know what you're going to get out of this game, and know that you're going to get that for quite a few hours if you really want to make it to the center of the system and complete the storyline.
Yeah, or
But-
infinitely.
But yeah, but also, like I said, you can just play that game and chill out and do whatever.
Yeah,
You know?
you can chase sunsets all day. That's something that I
Just
saw.
don't go chasing waterfalls.
Right, I haven't seen waterfalls yet.
That's why you shouldn't chase them.
Right, but I've seen a video of a guy who all he did for 25 minutes was he sat there and watched a sunset, and then he hopped in his ship and he booked it towards the sun. He went into like the toposphere or whatever and flew really fast until he got around to where the sun was still shining and landed and watched the sunset again.
Yeah.
So you can do that. I mean, if you want.
I liked him on that 70s show.
Yeah.
Well,
I hope that's the right term. I might get blasted by the internet science community for that.
We'll check with Neil deGrasse Tyson again.
I don't want to talk to that fucker.
Yeah.
He'll spoil every movie that's coming out as soon as they come out, like in real time at my face. I don't want it.
That seems to be his his job now.
Man, he used to be cool science dude. What happened?
I don't know. He got pedantic because it's the internet.
I guess so.
That's what you do. So,
Hang on,
anything else from you guys, or
No.
wrap up our shortest episode ever?
Yeah, I feel like this is a check back later and see where it's gone kind of
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
Both us and the game itself.
It'll be interesting to see where this game is in a month.
Yeah, I'm most interested in what patches will do, like real patches, because right now it's just been bug fixes or the patch notes.
Yeah,
So-
one came out today. Also.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a small patch.
Okay.
It's really weird. It's like 36 megs.
Yeah. I must have.
Thanks,
I was
Jenston.
playing. Yeah, I was playing this morning, and then
Actually, it was 32.
when it was 1 point, I think it was on 1.04 when I played this morning, and now it's something else. But Chuck
Yeah,
will
it's
be
32. Sorry.
nice. But yeah,
Thanks, Michael.
Chuck had been saying he wanted to play it, and hopefully by next month he'll have had a chance once he's done with all his video series that you can find at youtube.com/watercooler.
Oh yeah, Chuck's hiding over there.
Yeah.
He's covered up right now. Sorry.
Yeah. But yeah, otherwise, if you want to find us, go to noquarters.net.
Yep.
We're on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, all No Quarters Net. And check out the Patreon. We have a Patreon that's linked to the BAMFcast, our other sister podcasts, and it's patreon.com/BMFcast. If you subscribe, even at the lowest level, you get a bonus podcast that is not movie or video game related. It's just us BSing about stuff, and it's definitely worth listening to, in my opinion, because I'm on it, and I think it's good.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
No, it's pretty good.
But yeah, we make it worth your dollar. But yeah, so check it out. Otherwise, if you're going to write us at talk@noquarters.net.
Or Wear My Skull at
Or Wear My
noquarters.net.
Skull at noquarters.net, as in the location of
Figure
my
it
skull. Yeah. And once again, an increasingly dated reference. But hey.
Right.
Hey, that's all right. I named a whole system after
Fiddy and
references.
his
Yeah,
helicopters,
they
yeah.
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 Or if you want to give us a call, 910-5JOCKS-BMF, 910-556-9263. That is the Garfield phone, the hotline. If you want to give us a call and give us your verbal take.
Yeah.
Verbal hot takes.
Yes. Or verbal cold takes. I don't know. Just take.
I prefer verbal cold beers, but
Those are good too.
I prefer verbal kids.
Yeah. Verbal space planet. Space system. What is it?
verbal space program.
What is
Oh,
Kerbal?
verbal space program.
Yeah. There we go. But anyway, let's get out of here, huh?
Uh-huh.
I'm Mackie,
I'm BJ.
I'm Harlow.
and this is No Quarters Out.
You're not Chuck. You're not allowed to be Chuck.
Wait, guys, what's
Jeez, Chuck.
Who's doing the intro this month, thingy?
I did it last time I was here.
I'm not on the show, so I can do it.
You should. That'd be even funnier.
Do it.
Yeah.
This month on No Quarter.
Yeah. Just
I can-
no.
I can
Seriously,
do it.
seriously, just go this month on No Quarter Space,
Okay.
and it'll be funnier because you're not on the show.
Oh, make sure his mic is recording. 'cause
Oh
you
yeah,
had it
shit.
turned
Yeah.
off. Or can you not do that? You can come around to my microphone.
Yeah, go record on his.
Okay.
That's
why I
easier.
didn't say it.
Don't move it. Do not move that microphone,
I
Chuck.
touched that microphone.
Don't touch it.
Don't
You
jack
could
it.
use mine. It's on the same side.
Jack it around.
Ready?
Mm-hmm.
This month on No Quarters Space.
Yeah.
Nice job, Chuck.
One take Chuck.
You can do a good intro when you haven't been on a podcast for 2 hours.
This intro was procedurally generated.
All right, we are shutting down quickly because we have wrestling.
Time to wrestle.
Apparently it's wrestling time.
There's chicken in the fridge. Oh, there's so
What?
much
Did you get the big one?
Oh my God! Why do we
Man.
have that much chicken, Chuck?
I missed out on chicken.